the basics of any yoga class, and really one of the first ones, is that it shouldn't hurt. In my mind, yoga is about being connected to your body and to your breath and the myriad benefits that you get from just that connection. So one of the best ways to start that connection is to start with your breath. So in yoga, we try to breathe in through our nose, down to our bottoms of our lungs, feeling the rib cage and the belly expand with the inhale, and then letting the exhale just drizzle out, whether it's out through your nose, out through your mouth, doesn't matter so much. But that deep diaphragmatic breath calms your central nervous system, it relaxes your muscles and allows you to sink deeper into a pose. One of the other things I always try to remind people is that if we're moving deeper into a pose, if you feel like, I think I can go a little bit further and still feel at ease, still feel like the back, the integrity is there, is to always move as you exhale. It's another trick of your physiology. The breath in the exhale creates calm and relaxation and allows you to move without strain or struggle. We're trying to work with our breath and with our bodies, not against them. So always remember that less is more, especially in this yoga class. If it hurts, find another way to do the pose or just don't do it. So we are starting on our backs today. We're giving people plenty of time to come in. Let me just make a quick announcement about the charity of today. It is Feeding South Florida. It's an umbrella group that brings food and resources to food banks here in South Florida. So anybody that's in need, it's someplace they can go. And it's a really great organization. We've highlighted them a few times here. We have made, in the course of this past year, because it was like 1 week ago, 1 week from now today, that all of this craziness started to happen. We've raised almost $5,000 for different charities. So give yourself a pat on the back and be grateful that you had the resources to help with that and you're able to help somebody else in need. So that being said, let's all lie down on our backs. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Slowly breathing in through your nose. Slowly allowing the air to drizzle out. Bring all of your awareness to that breath for just a moment. Feel as it enters in through your nose, as it expands the rib cage down into the belly. Allow yourself with the exhale to just melt into the floor. Bringing your awareness to the sensation of the breath or to the sensation of your body as it lies on the floor. Knowing that this is where you can always bring yourself back to if your mind becomes distracted in your practice. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale, releasing tension, releasing stress, releasing worries or fears. And then we're going to slowly start to bend your right knee. We're going to leave your left leg out and straight. We're going to bend your right knee so that your right heel comes up to rest almost at your bottom. Wherever you can get it to is perfectly fine. So your left leg is out straight. The toes of your left leg pulled back, the heel gently reaching forward. You're creating an anchor to the muscles and to the fascia by pulling those toes back, by reaching that heel purposefully forward. What we're going to do is take a deep inhale to your belly as your arms rise up towards the ceiling. The belly fills with air. When your belly is filled with air, your lungs completely fill. Slowly exhale and let the arms fall down to the floor behind you. When your arms touch the floor, if that feels like pinching or pain in your shoulders, just bend your elbows. Let your arms come down a little further, or just hold your arms up above the ground. No pinching, no pain. As you inhale, reach back with your fingertips. Reach forward with the heel of that left foot. As you exhale, bring your arms the full length of the journey back down and by your sides. So try to empty your lungs slowly and try to do it in the full length of that journey of your arms coming back down and by your side. When your fingertips touch, just reverse it. Follow your breath, your arms rising up to the ceiling. Exhaling as your arms fall back to the floor behind you. Inhaling, reach back the fingertips, reach forward the heel. Exhale the full length of that breath, bringing your arms back down and by your side. See if you can bring awareness to all the components of this last one. Inhaling, your arms rising up. Exhaling, allowing them to fall to the floor behind you. We're going to leave your arms on the floor behind you for just a moment. Take a deep inhale here. Reach back with your fingertips. Reach forward with the heel. As you exhale, begin to let your left leg float up towards the ceiling. Let your arms float down to hold behind the left thigh. Now just check in with your shoulders for a moment. Make sure they've stayed relaxed, that your jaw is at ease. We're going to point the toes of your left foot up towards the ceiling and then slowly begin to circle that ankle around as if you were drawing a circle on the ceiling with the toes of your left foot. Then change the direction of that circle. Try to keep your left leg as straight as you can. Bring your awareness to what that ankle feels like. One more full circle. And then end with your toes pointing towards the ceiling. Begin to use your arms to circle the entire leg around the ceiling. I like to prepare for a yoga class to get each joint, each muscle warmed up and ready to move. Follow that breath with that circle. Connect it. Inhaling up one side of the circle, exhaling down the opposite side, and then reverse direction. Take that leg in an opposite direction. No struggles and no strains. Your shoulders have remained relaxed. Your jaw has remained relaxed. Your focus is on the sensation of the hip as it moves. One more full circle, ending with your toes pointed back up straight to the ceiling. And then pull your toes down. Straighten your right leg all the way down to the ground. So if that feels like struggle or strain in your back, just leave your right knee bent. It's perfectly fine. Take a deep inhale here. With an exhale, pull the left knee into your chest. Fill your belly with air as you inhale. Feel that belly press against your thigh. As you exhale, straighten the left leg out. Toes down, heel up. Feel that stretch. Moving on an exhale, bringing that knee back into your chest. We're just gently straightening those hamstrings, stretching, exhaling, straightening the left leg back up, toes pulled down, heel reaching up. One more time, pulling into your chest. One more time, straightening it back to the ceiling. Toes pulled down, heel reaching up. Feel that stretch down the back of your hamstring. Stay right where you are, or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders. Walk your hands up to the back of your left calf. Try to keep that right leg active, the toes pulled back, the back of your right knee gently pushing down into the floor. See if you can raise up a little higher. And then slowly lower, bending your left knee, drawing in into your chest. Taking your right hand on top of your left knee, release your left arm out to the side like half of the letter T, and with an exhale, slowly bring that left knee across your body towards the right for a spinal twist. You can turn your neck to look at your left hand if that doesn't bother your neck. You can breathe. Breathe into any areas that feel tight or restricted. Imagine that as you exhale, you're releasing any tension or tightness. Be gentle with your body. You can stay right here, or you can grab the big toe of your left foot with the first two fingers of your right hand and try and straighten that leg all the way out. If you can't reach your foot, that's perfectly fine. You can either just leave it bent or use a strap or a belt, anything you'd like, to wrap around the bottom of your left foot to give you a little bit more extension. And then squeeze that left leg tight, trying to get it as straight as you comfortably can. Feel the stretch. Connect with the depth of one more breath.
And then if you're holding that toe with that leg straight, just release it. Let that right knee start to bend, and then roll back onto a flat back, leaving your right foot on the outside of your left knee. So your right leg is still out straight. I totally said that incorrectly. Leave your left foot on the outside of your right knee. Or maybe I did say it correctly. Who knows? So your left foot is on the outside of your right knee. Your right leg is out straight. Just gently let that left knee drop down towards the floor so that you're in a figure 4 position. Your left ankle rested just above your right knee. We'll inhale your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale them to the floor behind you, reaching back with an inhale. Reach forward with that right heel, stretch along the length of your body, and with an exhale, bring your right knee in towards your chest. Your hands float down to hold underneath of your right knee, drawing it into your chest as close as you comfortably can. Breathing into the depths of your lungs, releasing tension in the shoulder or the jaw, finding an expression of this pose that you can hold with ease, without struggle, without strain. Feeling the depth of that stretch in your left hip. If it feels tight or painful, back it off. Find an expression of each pose you can hold with ease, where you can bring your focus and your attention back to the depth of your breath. Straightening your right leg up to the ceiling, toes pulled down, heels reaching up. Feel that stretch. No struggles, no strains. Breathe. You may choose to stay right here where you are, or lift your head and shoulders, your hands coming to the back of the right calf. Breathe. Slowly release your head and shoulders back to the ground. Bend your right knee, let your right foot come to the floor. So now you're still in that figure 4 position. Your left ankle rested at your right knee. Plant your elbows down into the ground, and with an exhale, your belly to your spine, lift your hips from the ground into a figure. You can push your elbows down into the floor to help support the pose, or you can release your hands in a prayer position towards the ceiling. You have options. Find the one that allows you to bring your focus and attention back to the depth of your breath or the strength of the pose. You can stay right there, or you can lift your right heel from the floor. Breathe. Lowering that heel to the floor, lowering your elbows, lowering your spine one vertebra at a time, and then gently allowing your left leg to just slide over your right. Your arms out to the side like the letter T. With an exhale, slowly allow both knees to drop over towards your left. Turn your head to the right. Breathe. Breathe into the areas that feel tight, imagining that you're expanding them with your breath. And as you exhale, allow yourself to melt, releasing tension, releasing any effort, releasing any judgments. Breathe. No struggles and no strains. Slowly bringing your knees back up towards the ceiling. Slowly uncrossing your legs so both feet are flat. Sliding your arms back down by your sides and straightening your right leg out. So we're going to do that whole series, if I can possibly remember it all, on the opposite side. So remember, it's about movement and your breath. The connection of breathing and movement is the mindful of this moment. So your right leg is straight, the toes pulled back, the heel gently reaching forward. You're inhaling to the bottom of your lungs as your arms rise up. You're exhaling to the floor behind you. When you inhale, you reach back with your fingertips. You lengthen through the heel of that right leg, and then use the full length of your exhale to bring your arms back down and by your side. When your fingertips touch, follow your own breath. The fingers rise up to the ceiling as you fill the lungs to the bottom. As you empty the lungs, the arms fall to the floors behind you. As you fill, you're inhaling, you're reaching the fingers back, the heel forward. As you exhale, you're bringing the arms down, back and by your side. The full length of that exhale, floating the arms back down. One more time. Follow your own breath, inhaling the arms up, exhaling them down, and then leave your arms on the floor right there behind you. Take a deep inhale to your belly, lengthen, reach back with the arms, reach forward with the heel, and then as you exhale, let your right leg come up towards the ceiling, let your arms float down to hold behind the right thigh. Point your toes towards the ceiling, and then begin to circle your ankle. Just bring your awareness to what it feels like to circle that ankle. It actually is not a motion that most of us use very often, so you may find it a little bit clumsy. It's a really good one to practice. There are muscles that do this. Keeping them in awareness is a really good idea. Change the direction of your circle. One more full circle with that ankle, and then point your toes towards the ceiling. Begin to use your arms to circle the whole around, as if you were using your leg to draw a giant circle on the ceiling. Inhale up one side of the circle, exhale down the opposite side. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Try to keep your jaw relaxed. And breathe. One more full circle, and then change directions. Bring your awareness to the feeling of your hip. If you feel any areas that feel uncomfortable, just make your circle smaller and avoid them. Try to move slowly and purposefully, linking your breath to the motion. One more full circle, ending with your toes pointed to the ceiling, and then down towards your face, reaching your heel up towards the ceiling. And then we'll straighten your left leg all the way down to the ground. So activate that left leg, the toes pulled back, the heel reaching forward, the back of the left knee gently pushing down into the floor. Stay right here, or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders, walking your hands up to the back of your right calf. Make sure that your kneecap is pointing towards your nose and you're squeezing that quadricep muscle to get the leg as straight as you can. You can lift up a little bit higher. And then slowly lower your head and shoulders. Bend your right knee and pull it into your chest. Hold on to that right knee with your left hand. Drop your right arm out to the side like half of the letter T. And with an exhale, slowly draw your right knee across your body towards the left. You can turn your head to look at your right arm if that's within your means without pain. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the areas of tightness or restriction and breathe into them. You can stay right here, or you can grab the big toe of your right foot with the first two fingers of your left hand and straighten that leg all the way out. If you can't reach down there, use a belt. Use a piece of rope, an extension cord, anything you can to try and get that right leg straight without tingling, without numbness, without... Your body is yours, and you have to be aware and decide if something is too much for your body. If you can close your eyes and bring your focus back to your breath, back to the feeling of the stretch, and have no thought about how much longer will we hold this, or I'm not quite sure this is right for me. If you have those thoughts, back out of the pose. Find an expression of each and every pose you can hold with ease. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then if you have that leg straight, go ahead and release it and let it bend. Roll flat back onto your back, but leave your right foot to the outside of your left knee. Slowly let your right knee drop towards the floor. You're in a figure 4 position with the right ankle rested just above the left knee. Slide your arms in towards the sides of your body and then up to the ceiling with an inhale. Falling back to the floor and exhale. With an inhale, reach those fingertips back, reach that heel forward. With an exhale, draw your left knee into your chest. Let your arms float down to hold behind the left thigh. Your shoulders relaxed, your jaw relaxed. Bring your attention to the deep stretch in that right hip and breathe. Breathe deeply into your belly. As you exhale, see if you can draw that knee and that ankle in a little closer without pinching, without pain. If it feels like pinching or pain, you can just release that left foot all the way to the floor and just gently hold it there. Find that expression that allows you to bring your focus back to the breath. Straightening your left leg up to the ceiling, the toes pulled down, the heel reaching up. Begin to breathe into the hamstrings, into the shoulders, and the right hip. Feel those stretches. Find the stretch that feels delicious, that just feels good. Stay right here or make the choice to lift your head and shoulders from the ground, walking your hands up to the back of your left calf. Squeezing that quadricep muscle, lifting up a little higher if that's available to you. And then slowly lowering the head and shoulder, bending the left knee, bringing the left foot to the floor. Elbows come down and by your side. Your right ankle still rests there at your left knee. Take a deep breath into your belly. With an exhale, pull your belly into your spine. Lift your hips from the ground. You can use your elbows to push down on the floor to assist you in this pose, or you can release your hands in prayer position to the sky. You can stay here or you can lift your left heel from the floor. Squeeze your gluteal muscles and see if you can lift a little higher. And then lower that left heel. Lower your elbows to the ground. Lower one vertebra at a time to the floor. Once your back comes flat to the floor, just let your right leg slide over top of the left. Take your arms out to the side like the letter T. And with an exhale, let both knees drop to the right. So you're not pulling them over, you're just letting the weight of your right leg gently traction your left leg over. Turn the head to the left if it doesn't bother your neck, and then close your eyes and feel. Feel the restrictions. Feel the release. Feel the fullness of your breath. No struggles, no strains. Slowly release, bringing your back to flat, uncrossing your legs. So both feet are flat and both knees are bent. Drawing both knees into your chest, your hands come underneath behind the thighs. So your right hand behind your right thigh, your left hand behind your left thigh. Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed, both legs straightening up to the sky. Toes pulled down, heels reaching up. Squeeze those quadricep muscles. Try to get your legs as straight as you can. Stay right here, or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders, bringing your hands to the back of your calves. You get just as much benefit if you leave your head and shoulders down. This is an inversion pose, helping to change the circulatory route of your legs. Breathe. Slowly lower your head and shoulders to the ground. Bend your knees, feet to the ground by your side, taking a regular bridge. Exhaling your belly to the spine, lift your hips from the ground, push down into your elbows, or lift your hands into a prayer position to the sky. So if it feels like cramping is going on, stop. That's a signal that your nerves are overloaded, that the muscles are not strong enough. Squeeze your glutes and see if you can lift a little higher. And then slowly lower one vertebrae to the floor at a time. We're going to do that bridge 2 more times so you have lots of variations. Find the expression of the pose that you can hold with ease, where your focus can be on the breath or the strength or the stretch at each pose. Exhale, lift your hips from the ground. Push down into your elbows if you'd like, or release your hands in prayer towards the ceiling. Stay right here where you are, or straighten your right leg up towards the sky, pointing your fingers to where the wall meets the ceiling, pointing your toes to where the wall meets the ceiling. Your feet fingers, people, your feet fingers. And then slowly bring that right foot back to the ground. Slowly lower one vertebra to the floor at a time. And breathe. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, again, push down into the floor. Pull your belly to the spine. There, helping support the pose, or release your hands into prayer. Lift your glutes and squeeze. Stay right there, or point your left toes to where the wall meets the ceiling. Find the strength of your pose and breathe. And then lower that left foot to the ground. Lower yourself one vertebrae at a time to the floor. Once your back is flat to the floor, let both of your knees drop out in opposite directions. The bottoms of your feet come together for cobbler's pose. So if you have pinching or pain in your hips or in the groin, just slide your feet down towards the ends of your mat, or take your hands and make them into fists and support the tops of your thighs with them. Always try to find that expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease. There is no right way to do yoga. There is only the breath, the movement, and the awareness of each. Breathe. Breathe into the bottom of your lungs. With your exhale, melt. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then gently begin to bring your knees back up and together. You can use your hands to get them there. It's perfectly fine. Knees are together, draw them into your chest, and bring your hands behind your thighs. Shoulders relax and jaw relax. Begin to rock from head to toe. So try not to hold your breath with this. See if you can bring yourself up and float on your vertebrae, on your ischial tuberosity, sorry. You're just trying to bring your shoulders back. You're trying to lengthen your spine so you don't be rounded. You're pushing your shoulder blades back and together, lifting your chest, rocking it back, bringing it back up. Stay right there, or try and straighten your left leg out, pointing the toes to where the wall meets the ceiling. If you'd like, you can put your right foot down to help support the pose. No struggle or strain. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine, bend that left knee and rock it back. Bring it up. Same on the opposite side. Point the toe to where the wall meets the ceiling. If you need support, put your left foot down. Lift and lengthen through the spine. Feel the strength of the pose. Rock it back. Bring it up. You can stay right here or try and straighten both legs out towards the ceiling, lifting your chest, lengthening your spine, creating strength, and then rock it back. One more time, choose your expression of the pose. Stay here, straighten your legs, or remove your arms. Lift your chest and lengthen your spine, and then bring it to an easy seated position for a moment. Just a position where your spine can be at ease in a seated style.
So just take a moment to feel your spine here. Breathe. Does the spine feel like it's at ease? Breathe deeply into your belly and exhale slowly. No struggles and no strains. Just begin to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and back and down. We've done a lot of work with the hips. Let's throw in some shoulders here. Let's loosen them up. We're going to do a couple of sun salutations. So we want to make sure that our shoulders are relaxed and released. Take those shoulders up to your ears and gently back and behind you and down like you're making big circles. And then reverse the direction of your circles. No struggles here, no strains here. Breathe. Breathe. One more full set of circles, and then let your shoulders just drop. Let your hands rest one on top of the other. Palms open towards the sky. As you exhale, let your chin drop down towards your chest. With your next exhale, take your right ear to your right shoulder. Take your head back, your chin up towards the sky. Left ear to left shoulder. And chin to the floor. We'll circle around the opposite direction, left ear to left shoulder. Head back, chin up. Right ear to right shoulder. Chin towards the floor. Slowly let your chin rise up. Looking straight ahead. We're going to come into all fours. We're going to prepare for some sun salutations. We're going to do that by putting some weight through our shoulders and through our hips just to get them warmed up and ready. So on your hands and knees, your hands are below your shoulders, your hips are above your knees. You're going to just gently rock back and forth. So this is a small amount of weight bearing into the shoulders, into the hips. You're trying to tell those shoulders, those hips, that we're getting ready to do 27 sun salutations, and they're going to need to be strong. That's right, 27 this week. You know I'm a liar. And then bring your shoulders just above your hands, your hips just above your knees, and slowly start to circle your shoulders around your hands. Make it a slow and purposeful shoulder roll. Try to keep the creases of your elbows turned forward as you circle those shoulders around those hands. And then change direction. This is just a way of telling all the muscles that work in conjunction to give stability to the shoulders and to the hips that they're going to be used, and we need to give them a chance to wake up. It is, after all, rather early in the day. Perfect. We're going to curl your toes under. So first, turn the creases of your elbows forward, your fingers head. That locks your shoulders into a stable position. Take a deep inhale here. With an exhale, I want you to lift your knees an inch from the floor. Try to pull your belly to the spine and don't hold your breath. Feel the strength in your shoulders as you're trying to turn those creases forward, and then drop your knees back to the floor. Take a deep inhale here. With an exhale, belly to the spine, knees lift an inch from the floor. Feel the strength. Lengthen your neck. Don't be looking up, pinching the back of your neck. Act as if there's a string coming out of the top of your head, reaching for the wall in front of you. Bring your knees back to the floor. One more time. Take a deep inhale. With an exhale, your belly comes to the spine. Your knees lift an inch from the floor. Those creases of your elbows are turned forward, and then push it into down dog. So in down dog, you're trying to get your legs as straight as you can. That may mean that your heels don't touch the floor. That's perfectly fine. You can practice what we call walking the dog, bending one knee, trying to straighten the opposite heel all the way down to the floor, holding it for a couple of breaths, and then switching. It's just a way for you to get a little bit of a progression, working on one leg at a time instead of both. If you've got both heels down to the floor, try lifting your toes from the floor. Push your chest towards your thighs. Lift your hips towards the sky. And breathe. Deep inhales. Look forward to your hands as you bring your feet
to your hands. You can jump or step them. Straightening your legs out for a forward fold. Slowly coming up, one vertebra at a time. If you have back pain, bend your knees so that your legs are not straight as you bring yourself up. Your chin rests on your chest until your spine is straight. Then as you inhale, you lift your eyes to the sky. You arch back gently. With an exhale, you swan dive towards the floor. If you have a bad back, bend your knees. It'll take the strain out of your back. When your fingertips touch the floor or a block, if you can't quite get there, then straighten out your legs. Inhale, lifting your head and shoulders to flat. Reaching your head towards the wall in front of you. Exhale, falling forward. Inhale, step back with your right foot. Step back with your left foot. Creases of your elbows forward. In this, you can come down to your knees if you'd like, or if you have bad wrists, come down to your elbows. With an exhale, lower yourself to the floor. Try to keep your elbows right up against your chest, and then take it to up dog or cobra. Lifting your knees from the floor is not necessary. It's an option. Push down into the floor and lengthen. Then take it back to the floor and back to down dog. And breathe. No struggles and no strains. We're going to inhale your right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale your right foot to the floor between your hands, and then drop down to your left knee. We're going to bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Slowly sink into that right knee. So this is a gentle stretch. If it feels like it's too much for you, just don't do this one. Go get a cup of tea, come back in a minute. Stay right where you are, or come all the way down to your elbows. Find an expression of the pose you can hold with ease, where you can bring your focus back to your breath. You can stay right here or bind the pose, reaching your right arm forward, reach as far as you can, and then wrap it around the outside of your right knee. Tucking your fingers into the crease of your thigh as it touches your belly. And then if you like, you can let that right knee drop out to the right, just taking a deep stretch of that right shoulder. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. If you've bound the pose, go ahead and release it. If you're on your elbows, bring yourself back up to your hands. Curl the toes of your left foot under. Step back into down dog and breathe. Down dog is a resting pose. You can breathe here. The work is done from straight legs and straight arms. So your shoulders, your neck should be relaxed and released. Breathe. If you need to stop anytime, you can take a child's pose or any other pose that feels right for you. Look forward to your hands. Jump or step your feet to meet your hands. Straightening your legs for a forward fold. Slowly rounding up one vertebra at a time. Chin stays on your chest till your spine is straight, and then follow your arms to the sky. Inhaling as you arch back. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Remember to bend your knees if you have a bad back. Follow your breath to the floor. Inhale up to a flat back, reaching your head towards the wall in front. Exhaling, folding forward. Stepping or jumping back into plank. Remember, you can come down onto your elbows or down onto your knees. Creases of your elbows forward. Lowering your body to the floor in chaturanga. Taking it to up dog or cobra. Breathe. Taking it back to the floor and back to down dog. Breathe. Trying to reach your hips towards the sky, your chest towards your thighs. Let your head dangle. You know, we couldn't get it through a class without the dangle. It's the big diddly dangler. Take your left leg up towards the sky. Step your left foot between your hands and then drop your right knee to the floor. Walk both hands to the inside of your right leg and then sink into that left knee. Stay right here where you are. Good. If that's where you can bring your awareness to the breath and to the stretch, it's perfectly fine. If you'd like, you can come down to your elbows. I'm sure of you there are those of you that can get all the way down to your chest, which is fine.
as long as it doesn't create struggle or strain. Breathe into the areas that feel tight or restricted. Exhale any restrictions. If you'd like to bind the pose, take your left arm forward, reach, and then wrap it around the outside of your left knee. Tuck your fingers into the crease of your thigh where it meets your belly. And then if you'd like, drop that left knee out to the left and let it pull on that shoulder, just stretching it deeply into internal rotation. No struggles and no strains. And breathe. Releasing that binding if you have. If you're on your elbows, bring yourself back to your hands. Curl the toes of your right foot under and push back into down dog and breathe. Look back to your feet. Make sure they're about hip width apart, that your legs are as straight as you can get them, the heels reaching towards the floor, your head hanging loosely. Bring your chest a little closer to your thighs if you have it, and then look forward to your hands. Jump or step your feet to meet your hands. Straightening your legs for a forward fold. Slowly rounding up one vertebra at a time. Leaving your chin on your chest so your spine is straight. One more sun salutation. That's right, we've done 26. This is 27. Exhaling as you fold forward. It's called alternate reality, my friends. Inhaling it up to a flat back. Exhaling it forward. Jump or step back into plank. Creases of your elbows forward as you lower to the floor in chaturanga, up dog, or cobra. Take it to the floor and back to down dog. And breathe. Breathe deeply into your belly. Exhale slowly. Squeeze those quadricep muscles tight and try to lift your hips towards the sky. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. Look forward to your hands. Jump or step your feet to meet your hands. Straightening your legs for a forward fold. Rounding up one vertebra at a time. Bringing yourself to mountain pose. So in mountain pose, you're standing. The big toes touching. My head's cut off. The big toes touching, the heels touching. Equal weight between the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Gently try to take your thighs and rotate them in towards each other as if you were trying to touch the front of your kneecaps together. Inhale your shoulder blades up to your ears and exhale them down and together. If you want to make this a balance pose, close your eyes. Feel the strength it takes to maintain the pose. Bring your attention back to your focal points, the place where your feet touch the ground, equal weight between the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. The thighs gently rotated in towards each other, the belly gently pulled through your spine. The shoulder blades down and together, the chest puffed up proud. And breathe. Breathe deeply in. Exhale slowly. Bringing your hands into heart center, preparing for the tree pose, standing on your left foot. So you might want to step off your mat if you're at home. Sometimes that sponginess will throw balance off just a little bit. Spread the toes of your left foot out as wide as you comfortably can. Then slowly, with an inhale, bring your right knee up towards your chest. So you're not trying to raise your right hip. If you're looking in the mirror or you can see yourself on your camera and that right hip is up, drop the right hip and drop the right knee just to find the place where you can hold it. Take it out to the side and then plant your tree. Your foot comes to the inside of your thigh or the inside of your calf or even just down at your ankle with the big toe touching to help you find the place where your balance is challenged, not where your balance is impossible. And I will tell you, some days will be better than others. If your foot is on the inside of your calf or the foot is on the inside of the thigh, gently push your left leg into that right foot to stabilize the knee. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades down and away from your ears. Separate your arms. dropping your right arm, lifting your left. Woo! Some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug. So balance is a journey. It's not a destination. Take your right arm up, drop your left arm down. Reach up to the sky. Bring your left hand up. Hands in prayer position down to the center of your chest. Take your right leg out, forward, and then straighten it out. And circle your ankle in one direction. Circle your ankle in the opposite direction. And then bring the foot to the ground. We'll prepare for the same pose on the opposite side. I'll tell you, balance is sometimes easier on one side than the other. The wonderful thing about yoga is that we work on things that slowly slip away from us when we're not paying attention. We lose strength, flexibility, and balance as we get older. Yoga works on strength, flexibility, and balance. Hands to heart center. Prepare the right foot. Spread the toes apart as far as you comfortably can. Inhale the left knee up towards your chest. Exhale it out to the side, and then plant the tree. Either your foot on the inside of the thigh, the inside of the calf, or the toe rested on the floor with the heel against your ankle. Push the right leg into the left foot, and then raise the arms up and overhead. Separate them out like branches. Drop your right arm, lift the left. Lift the right arm, drop the left. Woo! Bring them together in prayer, down to your chest. And then release that left leg forward, straighten it out, pull the toes back, and then point them. Circle your ankle in one direction. Circle your ankle in the opposite direction. And then drop your foot to the floor. Let's take it back to mountain pose for just a moment. Arms by your side, palms facing forward, equal weight between the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Your big toes touching, your heels touching. Your thighs gently rotated in towards each other. Your belly gently pulled to your spine and slightly up if you can. Then inhale your shoulders to your ears, exhale and back down. Close your eyes to make it another balance pose. And breathe. Feel your body. Bringing the awareness back. Separating your feet out a little bit wider than your hips. Your hands come into heart center. We're going to make our way to the floor, but we're going to do it through the squat and the crow, if that's available to you. If your knees are painful to bend, if the crow is too much, just go ahead and lay down on your back. We'll all be there. Take your hands into heart center, gently press into them. Start to bend your knees. Try to bring your elbows between your knees and then walk your toes forward. Lift your chest. So you're trying to keep a nice straight spine. You're not trying to round yourself forward. You're lifting through the neck, through the chest, and squeeze your hands together, pressing those knees out a little bit further. Brilliant. Feel that opening and breathe into the air as it feels tight or restricted. You can stay there. You can lie down to your back, or you can bring it into a crow. Taking your fingers, spread them wide, small bend in your elbows. Remember, you can use your block as an assist, or even a pillow if you'd like. Using that as an assist, bring yourself forward, a small bend in your elbows for your knees to rest on. Let your head rest on that block, and then lift your head. Feel yourself flying in the crow. And breathe. When you're ready to release your crow, slowly bring yourself to a seated position and then down, lying onto your back and preparing for final relaxation. So final relaxation is a pose that often people skip because time is tight, but it really is one of the most important ones. It's a time of just a few moments where you can be focused solely on the moment, without movement, where you can have the focus of your mind to recognize distractions, but not attach to them. So in final relaxation, it's the time when your central nervous system gets to process and integrate all of those stretches and those motions that we just did. Our bodies have lots of little feedback mechanisms in our joints, in our tendons, in our muscles that tell your brain what it needs to know, where it needs to bring more blood, where it needs to bring more oxygen, where it needs to release tension or lactic acid. So this is the time when that supercomputer in your head called your brain organizes and assimilates that information. So if it is at all possible, just spend 10 minutes in Shavasana, bringing your awareness to your breath. So closing your eyes, let your arms rest by your side, your arms on the floor, your palms facing up if that's not uncomfortable. Your chin gently pointing down your body, not up towards the ceiling. So you might want to slide a pillow underneath of your head, or a yoga block, or a shoe. Close your eyes for a moment and just breathe. Find the still space. Allow yourself to remain in that still space. That doesn't mean your mind won't jump to the future or the past. It won't jump to the internal chatter. It doesn't mean it won't jump to the story you tell yourself about the events of your past or the events to come in your future. Stillness is the place where you'll choose not to attach to those. And you'll find stillness. It's often a choice you have to make numerous times to stop. Bring it back to stillness, to the awareness of your breath. I'll ask you to bring all of your awareness and attention to your heart. The left side of your chest where your heart beats. See if you can focus and quiet yourself enough to either hear or feel the beating of the heart in the chest. Sometimes it helps to hold your breath for just a moment. It'll amplify the sound, and then you can find it and you can hold it and use it as an anchor back to stillness. So if your mind wanders or becomes distracted, you can use that heartbeat to draw you back into stillness. Become the observer of your mind. Notice the distractions, notice the internal chat. Make the choice not to follow. Mind becomes distracted, gently bring it back to the heart center. We'll slowly begin to bring your attention back to your body by just taking one deep inhale through your nose to the lungs. Feel that breath as it enters. Feel the sensations of that breath as it exits. And then slowly, bring your attention to your fingers. Start to just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Feel that gentle movement. And then spread your fingers apart. Spread your toes apart. Feel that space between the fingers. Feel the space between the toes. Then let your fingers curl into a fist. Curl your toes under and feel the skin as it stretches over the knuckles, as it stretches over the tops of your feet. Then let your hands and your feet relax. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders slide up towards your ears. As you exhale, slide your arms down your mat, feeling the stretch between the shoulders and the neck. And let your shoulders relax. Gently and with awareness, begin to rock your head from side to side on the floor. Feel the motion of your neck through the spine, through the gentle pull on the muscles. Bring awareness to it. And then let your head come to rest wherever it finds itself comfortable. As you bring your next breath in, let your arms rise up. Feel the breath enters and connect it to the motion of your arms. When the lungs are filled, let your arms fall to the floor behind you, emptying your lungs on the way. And then inhale, reach back with your fingertips, reach forward with the heels of your feet, and feel that lengthening along your spine. As you exhale, draw your knees to your chest, let your arms float down to wrap around your knees, hugging them into your chest. And let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw relax. You can begin to gently rock from side to side on the floor if you'd like, bringing awareness to the muscles and the bones around the spine. And then when you're ready, roll onto your right side, lying in a fetal position for just another moment. Making a pillow to support your head with your hands, or with your block, or just an actual pillow. Take your awareness back to one deep inhale. Feel the breath as it enters your nose to the bottom of your lungs. Feel it as it leaves your body warmed. And then push yourself up to an easy seated position. Anyone where your spine is straight and at ease. So when you're sitting, you want to make sure that that spine just feels at ease. If it feels like struggle or strain, take a block and sit on it, or pillows and sit on it. If you have any small children nearby, just sit on them. They probably need to be held still anyway. Close your eyes for a moment and bring your attention to a deep, lengthening breath. Your spine reaches up towards the ceiling, creating length. With an exhale, see if you can hold that tall and lengthened posture with ease. Another deep inhale lengthens your spine. Another slow exhale, holding that posture with ease, and slowly allowing your hands to float up towards your chest in a prayer position. Thumbs against your chest, chin drops gently down. I want to thank you all so much for showing up every week and practicing with me. I really do enjoy this and find it to be very calming and centering, no matter the storms that go on along and outside of us. Sometimes just this little moment of intentionality can put those into balance. I hope you've enjoyed the class, and if you have, and have it within your means to make a donation to today's charity, it is Feeding South Florida. It is an umbrella organization that helps give funding and food to food banks throughout South Florida to feed people in need. You can watch these classes anytime you like or share them anytime you like. They're completely free. You can do that here on this Facebook page for Back to Health Physical Therapy, or you can visit my webpage, www.body-guru.com. I have lots of information on there, videos on products I like to refer people to work on aches and pains and keeping themselves mobile. I have books on there, I have videos, and there is even one full-length video of just Lola yoga, where I took snippets of all my different yoga things of when yoga was being as cute, when Lola was being as cute as Lola tends to be. And I put them all together for one, and it's called The Best of Lola. But go check it out. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you can. As soon as I get 1,000 subscribers, I get to have a dedicated URL. Woo! But in any case, I hope to see you next week. Be well until then. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.